Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Family or Fiance. This episode surrounds the couple, Alexis and Akil, whom met when she was working as like a cashier at a gas station, and he thought she was cute. He liked her smile, and he was flirting with her. And you know what I'm saying? They've just been, together basically ever since then. So they had their first little meeting or whatever, and the people who are gonna come are his sister, his aunt, and his grandmother, and her mama, her sister, and her stepdaddy coming. Y'all, there are a lot of things going on. There are a lot of pieces, and I kind of still have questions, despite knowing how it ends. But yeah, so one big issue that has happened that has kind of driven a wedge between Alexis and her sister is that he is supposedly like a tax preparer of some, like whatever, I guess. And the sister tried to do her taxes and she was only able to get $700 back. He looked at it and was like, oh, I can get her back way more than that. And so she ended up getting like $2,000, $3,000 and some dollars back when he was going to do it. So he actually sent her a bill. And little does the sister know, everybody, including his family, gets charged for his services or whatever. And we found that out later on the episode because his aunt was like, ain't nobody special because he charged me to do my taxes. So it just is what it is. But yeah, some things come out later on, and everybody's like, oh, okay, well now it kind of makes a little bit more sense, but not really. But yeah, y'all, people are not really here for them being together because they say they feel like she's too young for him and all this other stuff. So the tasks that Tracy ends up, giving them is fear in a hat, which is the people on her side, her folks end up writing down questions that they have for him, and he has to answer them. And her task is to cook dinner with his folks, and while they're prepping and cooking and all the other stuff, they can ask what they want to ask and they can discuss things, and that's what it is. So an issue that her mama has is that he don't want to come in the house when she comes over to visit them. And the stepdaddy is not here for the fact that they live together, and he uses a lot of profanity in front of them. Her mama said that he's been very disrespectful to her with cursing and like whatever else. But I mean, the only thing that I know for a fact is that he's cursed a lot in front of her. And I guess that's what she's considering to be the disrespectful part of it all. I ain't know if he was calling her out of her name, but it just seems as though he was cursing in her presence, and she didn't like that. A lot of people know how to gather themselves and, hold back on certain things when they're around certain people because they know that they don't like all that cursing. Like a lot of people get around me and they know I don't curse, and they just inherently just don't curse, or they curse a whole lot less around me. But for him, he doesn't really show emotions like that, and he kind of is like straight no chaser. He don't really care about nobody else like that as far as whatever emotions they showing. He kind of like, well, I don't know how to, deal with you when you're in that state, so let me just walk off. Y'all, but anyway, when they arrived, I noticed the energy was weird as far as when her people came. I think one of them shook his hand, but like her mama like acted as if he wasn't even there and walked right past him. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, they didn't really even acknowledge him. It was crazy. His aunt feels as though they are not ready to get married because she feels as though he needs to fix his attitude. She knows him, and she's just like, that's just not a smart thing to do. When you know your attitude is not where it needs to be, you need to fix yourself. They feel like they need more time to get to know one another. That's what the grandmother was saying. Like I already said earlier, the stepdaddy is not here for them living together and all that cursing that he does. The sister is still in her feelings because she feels as though he took tax money from her. I think he got $500. Well, I don't know. Whatever the amount was, I guess it was $500 or whatever that was charged, and she got $3,000 back or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, he was under the impression that it was free. But we later find out some other information. But like I said, I'll tell y'all about that later on. But her other discrepancy that she has with them is that she feels as though a wedge has been, placed in between she and her sister, and things have just not been the same. His sister, I think, thinks that he's changed and not for the better, and he hasn't been around like he used to, and they feel like she's the reason why. And again, they already was talking about the age difference. I think that he's 8 years older than her, and yeah. The sister done already pulled him to the side and was like, if a wedding happens, I ain't coming. Her mama already said if a wedding happens at this moment, she ain't coming. She feels as though he is a bum and disrespectful. Side note, y'all, what in the world did the sister have on when she was in the house? Like when she first got there or whatever? Because I was like, girl, if you don't go put some clothes on, I don't know what was going on, but like a lot of the time people want to label us fat folks, big folks, whatever you want to say, oversized, whatever, as, these people who wear stuff that's too small and we know we wrong. It's like 5 sizes too small or whatever. Like, I was just like, girl, what in the world do you have on or not have on? The lack thereof. That was very distracting. And I was just like, girl, no. And like when she's in her confessional, she has on a reasonable outfit, but I was just like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and put some clothes on, what is going on? It ain't like she was going to the pool, so I was confused. Anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. Stuff like that, it catches my eye, and I just want to, ask y'all what y'all thought was going on. And I know I'm probably going to get some hate, and people going to be like, well, she can wear what she want to wear. And I'm just like, girl, put some clothes on, though. Like, them shorts was all up in her, cutting all up and through. But anyway, y'all, I digress. So, anyway, he, like I told y'all earlier, is willing to sit in the car to refrain from any type of negative interaction between himself and her family. And, in a way, they still kind of feel like she doesn't come around like she used to, and that he kind of controls her in a sense. But she even was like, that ain't the case. Y'all, a lot of people have issues with him working. He says that he works. When they did the questions in a hat thing, or whatever the hat task was, somebody wanted to know where he worked. And I think her mama was like, well, we were told that you work like welding or something. He was like, no, I don't do that. And he like named off like 5 to 7 things. And they're looking like, what? And like eventually he said what sounded to be like he worked for the city. And then like it started sounding like he was saying city. I was just like, what is going on? Anyway, everybody's confused, everybody tired. And it's like he in his feelings and he don't want nobody to keep asking him about where he worked. And even later on when they were going to have dinner, it was brought up again because there really was no clarification about where he working and what he doing. Because like I already told y'all, the mama feels as though he is a bum at this point because nobody knows for sure what he does. And the fiance was like, okay, why are you telling them that you do welding? Well, no, she was like, why are you telling you work for the city when you don't? Don't you do this? And I was like, well, dang, girl, do you know where he works too? Like, what? Like, y'all, I was tired. It just got to the point where he just wanted to squash that conversation, not even bring it up no more. And he just didn't understand why everybody was so focused on what he was doing because bills and things are being taken care of. Y'all, she wanted to make it plain and clear while they were eating dinner that Akil was not coming in between her relationship that she had with her sister. It's just that stuff that happened with that tax situation that is really clouding everybody's judgment. The most is going on. There was a miscommunication because she was not even aware that he had even come in on the situation. And she was supposed to be informed of what was going to happen when he came in. Because the original plan was her sister, Alexis' sister, gave her information for the taxes to be done. She was supposed to do the taxes. She did not tell her, hey, I tried to get you some money back. The money that I tried to get you back wasn't nearly enough what you could have gotten back. Akil does this stuff for a living. I've been trying to learn from him. I'm not quite where I need to be. So he ended up, putting your information in and getting you back thousands versus the couple of hundred that I was getting you. And you're gonna have to run him that money. You're gonna have to run him that fee for his services because he actually went through the tax company that he supposedly works for. So everybody was oblivious to that because that was one of the main things that was going on between her and her sister. They had a moment, they broke down. Like, she went to the bathroom and was crying, and her sister followed behind her. It's like, why are you crying? And she was just like, look, I just need you to understand that he is not doing anything to keep us apart, and I love you, and we better than this, and I wasn't trying to do anything to hurt you and all that. They had their little moment, and that's what it was. His sister pulled him to the side and was like, are you really willing to deal with all of this drama that's going on in there? Because everybody in there crying and having their moment, and I'm not finna go in no corner and have no kumbaya cry moment. I see all this drama going on. I ain't here for it, and just know I ain't going to the wedding. It just is what it is. If it's gonna be like this, I ain't here for it. So he straight up told her that he feels like she is being a slave to her family because, like, whatever they say, she is willing to kind of go along with their suggestions and, you know, all of that, especially if it actually is something that, you know, is logical. He ain't really trying to hit it. He was just like, oh, you just want to go along with everything that your family say. And it's like, I kind of get both sides, but it is what it is. So she ended up having a one-on-one with her mama, and you know, she was like, you know, he disrespected me and I just don't understand. And like, she actually sat up there and apologized. And I'm like, girl, why are you apologizing? If he really disrespected your mama and was cussing and doing all this other stuff, he's the one who's supposed to come to her one-on-one and apologize. And then they even said that. She was just like, I mean, I know that, you know, he should be the one to apologize, but I'm apologizing on his behalf because I feel like I have to protect him and all this other stuff. Y'all, I was tired. So anyway, she was just like, look, I don't understand. Like, her mama broke down. She was like, I don't understand what I did while raising you to make you gravitate to these dudes. All these dudes that you've been dealing with are bums, they trash, they ain't bringing nothing to the table. I felt as though I was guiding you in the direction that you needed to go in. And for whatever reason, you always gravitate to these trash dudes. Like, that's ultimately what she was saying. And she just really is taking it hard. She is really beating herself up, thinking that she's done something to make her daughter go in that direction. Because in her mind, all these dudes she be getting with be trash, and she wants her daughter to have an excellent man in her life. Y'all, so this is day 2 finally of the check-in, and she's emotionally drained. He seems as though he's fine, and he's literally said, I'm fine, while she's saying she's emotionally drained. And I feel like if you are with someone the way they are feeling, it's going to rub off on you and all of that, because I know that's the type of person that I am. When I'm really involved with somebody, even with my friends, like if they feel some type of way and it's like really, really bad, it makes me feel that way too, because I don't want them to be in a bad way. And if they're really happy, it makes me really, really, really happy. And right now, he's not being able to show emotions, and I'm just worried about that. And yeah, they rehashed what was said about her mama saying she's not at this point going to the wedding if they have it. And Alexis was just like, I really feel like I'm protecting him from my family. And that's just not how it should go. So I don't know what it is about him, but he has that smirk spirit, and I don't like that. I don't like when people are faced with serious situations and issues, and within it they smirk. I know with some people that is a defense mechanism and something that they are doing, and in a lot of cases some of the people don't realize they're doing it, but some people really do have that smirk spirit, as I want to call it, going on, and it just be making me want to slap the smirk off their face. Because it's like, this is a serious moment. What is there to smirk about? Y'all, so anyway, I can't. Anyway, the task is for them to do a comedy improv situation, because everything has been so heavy on that first day. They want to hopefully go to this improv and be able to open up and laugh and be able to get to know each other a lot better while still, you know, showing emotions and all of this. Y'all, they end up, before they even go, she ran up the steps, Alexis. She ran up the steps, went in the bathroom, and was crying down. So he ran behind her. I thought he was going to knock on the door and try to go with her, go in there where she was at and console her. No, he acted like he was going to knock on the door. He was just like, yeah, I'll just let her do whatever she's doing in there. And he just sat outside. And I was just like, why are you sitting outside of the bathroom? Like, she needs your emotional support right now. Like, she needs you to be like, it's gonna be okay, we gonna get through this, everything is gonna be all right, we gonna come out of this better than we came in. He didn't do nothing. So when she came out, he eventually was like, you all right? And then, like, of course she lying, saying, yeah, she good. And he even was like, yeah, you lying. No, you ain't all right, or whatever. Y'all, anyway, I wasn't here for that. I don't like that. If something going on with me, I need you to come and check on me. You know what I'm saying? Come check on me, act like you care. But as of right now, ain't no emotions coming out from him, and I don't like that. So they end up going to the improv workshop, and like I said a minute ago, they had to go through these emotions, and Alexis felt as though he was the one who showed the most emotions, because the improv coaches, instructors, or whatever they wanted to be called, they were, giving them tasks to kind of like imitate situations that show their emotions from a level 1 to even, higher than a 10 at times or whatever. And they just would like come up with random situations and just talk them out. And then they would just yell out the number of how, hostile and, angry and mad, or how happy they are in the moment. And like, he did pretty good. I was like, oh, you're a really great actor, or you actually can feel, but you need to find a way to bring it out. And later on, Tracy actually touches on that, and I was glad. So Alexis was even shocked by this outcome. Y'all, Akil pulled Alexis's mama to the side, and he apologized to her, and he was saying that, because everybody was like downstairs and they were making dinner. So before dinner, he pulled her outside, was talking to her, and he was just like, I want to talk to you and tell you that, I'm going to tone it down. I know I cuss and do all these things, but I'm going to tone it down, and I really want to change. And so, she accepted his apology for disrespecting her. And, she was just like, look, like, I'm going to need for you to understand that you need to be mindful of my daughter's emotions, because when she's sad, I'm sad. When she's happy, I'm happy. And like, I don't know if you've realized that, but that's really what has gone on. So when she's been in these moments of depression and all that, I've been going through it with her too, because she comes to me and she's upset and all of that, and I feel it too on her mama. So, I was like, okay, let's see how that goes. So the final session happens, and his emotions started to actually show up a little bit, and Tracy McMillan was just like, we have to figure out a way to channel it, to bring it out of you so that you can show it. Because like I said, Alexis was even shocked that he was actually able to show these emotions. She's like, I can't believe you were showing these emotions to strangers, but I can't get you to show these emotions to me, and I need these emotions to be shown to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, girl, I hear you, because I was just like, but yeah, like she was just like, we got to find a way to incorporate these emotions or whatever, y'all. And she has to find a way to stop keeping her emotions bottled up until she just goes somewhere and cries, because she holds a lot in. And they both ultimately hold a lot in, but the way that she does it is completely different from the way he does it. He just kind of be like, well, whatever, it is what it is, and he just don't show emotions when he needs to. She is usually in her feelings. You can see it written all over her face, and eventually she goes somewhere and cry about it. So the blessing ceremony is upon us, and before they even did that, the two of them sat down and had a come to Jesus moment, and decided that they don't need to walk down the aisle right now. So they went out there and they told their family, thank you for coming to the blessing ceremony. Y'all are here in order to give us our blessings or not, but we've decided that we're going to wait a little while. We have a lot of work to do. We have to get our connection right with one another. The stepdaddy ain't here for part of what they said, because she said that they're still gonna live together. Like, he really, like, they made a point to like zoom in on his face, because he was just like, here we go, still living together, really, this is what we gonna do? And that's the way he was looking. But the stepdaddy, he everything. I'm here for it though, y'all. So anyway, after that was said, they went around the room and everybody was like, well, we're glad that y'all made that decision. I'm here for it. The stepdaddy asked everybody to stand up, and then he ended up leading the prayer. They actually have been going to couples counseling, and Akil has promised to come inside from now on instead of just sitting out in the car. So anyway, that is what has happened on this episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Have a good weekend.